Welcome to the Brothers of Animation here on NPR, coming to you live from the Anibros studios in sunny Portland, Oregon. Today on the show, Willis finally gets around to watching Patlabor, and he tells us all about it. So strap in and brace yourself for impact, because the Brothers of Animation are not certified by the FAA. Welcome to Anibros.
Welcome, indeed. Hi.
We are the bros, as per usual.
Yes.
You know the drill. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on the old Twitter sphere, and subscribe to our RSS.
Just get it done.
Yeah.
Do all the things.
Why not?
Send us messages, send us mail, send us
a postcard.
Send us postcards, sure. Send us posters, send us anything.
Don't send those guys anything.
Why not?
You're begging too much.
Well, I just
wanted a postcard.
I just want a postcard.
I just, like you go to Peru and you got ruins on a postcard in the gift shop. Think of the Anibros. Don't think of your parents who brought you there.
Yeah.
Like you're just pissed off because you didn't get to go to Japan for your vacation.
Well, I think everyone is.
I was.
Well,
so,
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Blech. We have new satellite locations.
Yeah, this is basically version 2 of the Anibros.
Well, version 3, rather.
This is version 3 of the Anibros.
Yeah.
What do you guys count as versions?
I don't know. I was counting version as this as being the major revision, but I guess Willis sees it differently.
Yeah, I thought version 1 was basically when it was mostly just you two guys, and then version 2 was when I started becoming more regular, and version 3 is the same exact thing, but is now, instead of being in an apartment with 2 people / 3 people, it is now in 3 separate locations for the most part, I guess.
I guess the listeners will be able to tell version 3 because you guys have new microphones, right?
Oh yeah, that too. We definitely sound way better now, hopefully. But then again, it's going to be compressed into a MP3 and everything, so it's probably not going to sound nearly that great.
Oh, it'll sound good. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, don't worry at all. It'll sound magical.
It'll sound like we're coming to you live from some place.
It'll sound like we're sitting right next to you.
Yeah. Being streamed into your ear holes.
Can you hear me?
Never do that again, is what I'm going to tell you right now.
All right, duly noted. I will not listen to a goddamn word he says.
All right. It's been a while since we've gathered together.
Yeah, what's new?
Not a bunch, other than, I guess, some new shows showed up. We can talk about that later-ish or now-ish, whichever one you guys prefer.
Well, let's do our traditional segment of what have you guys been watching?
Okay.
Who's going first?
Not me, because I didn't watch anything.
Yeah, as expected.
Well, I've watched the things that Willis is going to talk about later, but other than that, nothing on my own time.
He's probably watched half of the things that I've been watching.
Okay, fine. All right. I'm not able to verify all the things that Willis watched, so let's clarify this. I watched one thing with him.
2 things.
Two things. One thing. No, they're both movies, huh?
No.
So, yeah.
Who's going? Just one of you.
All right,
Everybody's
fine.
going to go, so somebody's going to go.
You go.
Okay.
You get out.
You're off the podcast.
You're fired.
All right, fine. I guess it's me. Continuing from last season, I've still been watching Tonari no Seki-kun, Master of Killing Time.
Indeed.
Still funny. Still great.
Indeed.
Still 8 minutes long every week.
That's the worst part of it.
Well, it's paced well for what it is, so...
No, it should be released in half-hour chunks with 2 episodes each, is what I think.
Oh. That works too. So.
Yeah, hopefully they adapt everything because there's so many good ones. What was the latest one?
The latest one was
I'm behind,
well,
so don't ruin the plot.
I'll try not to, but
Oh, the Mr. Potato
yeah.
Head thing, right?
Yeah, and we'll leave it at that. That was something I didn't quite know, but I guess, yeah, it is sort of like Mr. Potato Head, and that's all we'll say about it.
Another classic one where she gets way too involved.
You mean all of them?
Do you say like Mr. Potato Head?
It's
What?
kind of like Mr. Potato Head. It's
Shoot.
How is an episode like?
I
like
can't
a
remember what that
toy?
thing is.
What are you talking
You know
about?
that game they play where they put the blindfold on and they try to make a face?
No, how is that like Mr. Potato Head?
Shoot.
What are you talking about?
I guess it's more like Pin the Tail on the Donkey.
That's what is Mr. No.
You just watch the episode and you'll understand what it is. Okay?
You might have seen it in other shows, though.
I'm trying to get this reference. I'm trying to get the picture painted for me in my head.
I've never seen whatever this is. It's like this weird... They got this weird paper character, and like they have like the eyes, the nose, and the mouth and stuff, and you gotta like... The game is that you put on a blindfold and you try to put the face in the right... Like all the face parts in the right part of the face, and the fun part is that like you're blindfolded, so you can't really tell.
Yeah, Spin the Tail on the Donkey.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of like
Japanese pin the samurai sword on the old ox.
The rice-based version.
Yeah, all right.
Is that the only show from continuing from last season you're watching?
that. Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot else that's continuing from last season, is there?
I don't think so. I know Nisekoi is, but we're not watching that.
Yeah, no.
I think everything kind of ended and started up again.
Yeah, pretty much. Other thing I've been watching is 1 Week Friends. What do you have to say about that one, Jack? Because I know you're watching it.
Yeah, I'm watching that too. I'm not full on enjoying it, but I'm just kind of following along. It's really funny to imagine that the girl is pretending because it works. It still works perfectly because every week, Monday morning or Sunday night, she just completely forgets who her friends are, but only who her friends are and nothing else. And this one kid in her class just keeps trying to be her friend. So every week he has to read Be Her Friend. And it's so, like, unbelievable, but I don't think it's really fake. But as I'm watching it, I just imagine that she's faking it, and it makes it more funny.
Yeah, I've been trying to look up stuff about, like, selective amnesia like that, but it's really kind of stretching it, and maybe it is a real thing, but it definitely doesn't sound or feel like it. But I don't know. I'm definitely at that stage where I'm just like, I don't hate this right now, but I'm not entirely in love with it either. I'm just watching it and seeing what happens.
Same here. Like, I was expecting to like it a little bit more, but I could really take her to leave it right now.
Well, I mean, I kind of like it, but yeah, it's definitely sort of just the kind of show that I'm not super into. I was honestly kind of hoping this would be a second Golden Time, at the very least in terms of like being really like doing something crazy or unexpected every episode, just like keeping the drama going constantly. And
No, it's a lot slower than that. Kind of like not the same mood, but like the same feel as like Usagi Drop, like kind of the same art style and same kind of like just little kids living their daily thing.
see, what I was getting was actually canon, which I don't know if any of you've seen that. I saw the original Toei version from 2002, not the 2006 Kyoani one. But how different can they be? But, like, it definitely sort of has that weird feel that, like, it's definitely building up to be, like, a really sad kind of thing. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's the kind of show where, like, you know it's going to be sad. It's not going to surprise you. It's very obviously baiting into that. But you watch it anyway because you want to see, like, can you actually get sad with it? So
Basically, yeah, like the entire premise of the show, you can just read the summary or the synopsis and just be like, yeah, that's going to be sad.
Other thing, not sure if I'm dropping it yet or not, is Captain Earth. I'm kind of mad because it has really good animation. It's like Eureka 7 with space stuff and maybe a conspiracy, but like they're not being super clear on it. But at the same time, you know exactly who's a bad guy already. And it's just sort of like generic shonen protagonist manages to pilot a weird giant robot that is for some reason a thing to pilot an even bigger robot. I don't know, it's weird.
It sounds pretty great.
But it looks
I don't know
gorgeous.
what you're talking about.
like, I'll give it that. It looks really good.
Yeah, Laven, you should watch that.
Yeah.
Well,
I should.
maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's very good.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know whether I like it more or less than the other mech show that I saw only one episode of, Knights of Sidonia, which has a really weird, like, world. Like, because, like, they had this, like, really interesting, really different kind of, like, setting for it, where it's, like, it's in, like, the far future, and, like, people who, I guess some people live underground, but on the surface there's these weird, like, there's these weird advancements, like, I guess there's cloning, and now there's a third gender, and they're trying to fight weird tentacle monster aliens, and it's honestly kind of weird. But more than that is that this is an anime that's entirely in CG, so, like, that was what pissed Laven off the most about it when we watched it.
Well, okay, it did at first because obviously it's CG, and I've been very vocal about what I dislike about CG. But I thought that for being CG, it wasn't very ugly or terrible. I was able to actually get past that it was CG pretty quickly. I thought the fact that the show was kind of bad made it bad, and not the CG distracting me from it was really more of the case.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of already knew that going into it.
As soon as I saw that it was CG, I was ready to be very prejudiced, but after just not very long, I don't know how they do it, but they must skip some frames or, like, figure out how to make it look kind of like actual animation and not so stupid CG looking. And you kind of forget that it's CG for after a little bit.
Is it, like, as good as, like, video games, or not quite yet?
No, it's not like that. They, like, I mean, I noticed this weird thing where they stop, like, it kind of skips a little bit. Like, it's like they put it on this thing where it, like, just caps it at, like, 24 frames or something.
Yeah.
So it looks like
that,
animation instead of, like, you know how it can be really strange and like a model just sort of floating through space and doesn't look good.
Yeah.
This is like actual frames, like, so it looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that a lot of that's kind of a practice a lot of anime studios do when it comes to, like, doing stuff in CG, is that they, like, purposefully try to keep it choppy, because, like, they know the anime style, like, is still fairly, like, stiff in certain ways. Like, it doesn't have to be, but, like, that's just, like, the way they do it.
Yeah, like, most anime is, like, 12 frames per second most of the time or something, and the CG is probably, like, way up there.
Yeah.
Whereas, because, like, I know they did a similar thing when they switched the new Guilty Gear over to a 3D engine, is that they're purposefully animating the models so that it does have that very, like, sudden, sharp, like, stop chopping motions.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain what
fighting
it
games,
is, but
of, like, sprites doing it, because, like, models just fighting, like, looks really smooth, and, like, a lot of people love the sprites of Guilty Gear, but they did this CG thing for whatever reason. But they still made it look like sprites. Like, aside from, like, a couple moments, you can't really tell. This one, I feel like you can tell a little bit more that it's CG. That it's a little bit more obvious, but it still looks decent, I guess, for CG. It's just that the story is so vague and isn't really all that interested in trying to keep you up on anything that's happening. It basically just goes, there's a guy, he came from underground, he tried to steal rice. For some reason, he has potential to be a mech pilot. Put him in a test thing, he doesn't do well. Finds out about weird things about the planet, like a third gender. Goes into space, gets attacked by a tentacle monster. End of episode.
yeah, pretty much.
They're not very keen on exposition. They're very much just like, yeah, okay.
No.
Like, this is what you're going to do now. Do it. It's like, wait, why and how? What is this thing? What is anything?
I think that's the style they're going for, though. I'm pretty sure that they're just like, if you just stick with it, you'll really figure out what's going on. But I don't like how they are telling the story very much. It's not my favorite kind of I mean, there's something to be said for doing it well, where they just thrust you into what's going on and you have to figure it out. But this is like not a good way of doing it. I don't think it's not really fun to watch.
I'll probably give it another shot once it's done, because apparently what they're going to do is that that once the series has finished airing in Japan, they're going to upload the entire thing to Netflix, and so then I'll probably just marathon it when it's done.
If I hear good things about the whole thing, yeah, I might do the same.
Yeah, that is kind of weird that instead of being a place to watch it officially while it's airing, you got to wait until it's all done and then watch it all on Netflix.
Like, simulcasting's become such a big thing now, but apparently for this they're saying, nah, just wait until it's all over. So, I mean...
They don't even have faith in it themselves.
I mean, when something's on Netflix, it'll reach a lot more people than being on Crunchyroll, but I just hope, like, the hype is still there. Because, while things are airing, they're really popular, so...
Other thing I've been watching is Akuma no Riddle. Like One Week Friends, it's very much a show that I don't quite hate, but I don't really love either. Although it's definitely leaning more on the I'm not really liking this side. There are these 12 assassins that are put into a classroom together. They have a mission where they all are trying to kill this one girl in the class. She's the designated target, and whoever kills her gets to have whatever wish they want granted. Like, it's not a magic thing. It's like this. It's like a government or like shadow organization thing where like they'll say like whatever you want, we'll give it to you. And then there's this one other girl that I think falls for the target. Like, she actually like develops feelings for her somehow, and decides that she's actually going to protect her from the other assassins.
Is it 100% girl cast? Is there one guy?
None of the assassins are guys. They're all girls.
And the target's a girl too?
Yes.
Oh.
Typical Japan.
Well, no, I thought typical Japan would be the target is a boy and it turns into a harem.
No.
No, not anymore. Now it's all girls all the time, no matter what.
I don't know. I'm a little conflicted on it, because like the idea of like an action Yuri series could be decent. I don't know. I guess I was expecting something a lot faster than what this show is, because like I guess after Kill la Kill, I was hoping for something fast-paced and ridiculous again. But this was actually very slow. It took not one but 2 episodes to set everything up. It's taken its sweet time doing anything of importance. They're kind of hinting at like a longer term plot, like, because like no one's been told the reason why they're targeting her, why they're trying to kill her, just that they should. And like they're sort of hinting like, oh, she's done some bad things, but at this point I could very much just well drop it and not really regret it at all. Overall, a pretty weak season, I guess, so far. But that just might be what I'm watching.
I don't know. I'm kind of the same way. Like, when I first looked at the season, I was like, nothing here looks good. But somehow I found like 10 shows to watch. And all of them except for like 2 of them, I'm kind of like, if this show was canceled, I wouldn't really cry,
I felt the same way, is that I looked at it at first and it's just like, none of this looks interesting. And then I found like, oh wait, there's like 8 things here I actually would like to see. And then when I actually started watching it, I'm like, no, I actually don't really care about most of these. I guess I've been watching Inugami-san to Nekoyama-san. Like, the last episode, the one that just aired a couple days ago, was actually kind of funny. I don't know if it can keep up that momentum. But it's a short.
Yeah, short, like a minute long or something.
Yeah, 3-minute episodes.
Which I like. It's nothing good particularly, but I really like the comedy shorts. I like it. It's obviously adapted from a 4-coma.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those shows. It's about a dog-like girl and a cat-like girl.
It doesn't sound good when you explain what it's about.
No, alright, I'll shut up. But, like, I guess you can sort of tell because it says Inugami-san to Nekoyama-san. His, like, dog, cat, whatever. You figure out the rest from yourself.
Trying to get Laban to watch this show here.
Are you now?
One girl likes cats, one girl likes dogs, and they like each other.
Yeah, sounds like something I love.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate that?
10 out of 10.
And I did mention it's a short too, so I don't know if that gives it extra credit or not.
At least it goes by like fast, and yeah.
At least it goes by fast. That shouldn't be the attitude you have. I dislike shorts, and I dislike
Girls.
everything that this is.
Well, I mean,
Well,
you're watching
yes.
Seki-kun, and that's a short.
That is a long short. A short, like a regular short, is like 1 minute of fast-paced talking, which I dislike. I do not like that.
I've been wanting to try watching other shows. I might start up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure soon.
Yeah, I've been thinking about watching the anime of that too. I tried watching the first season and I got like, I can't remember how many episodes, maybe like 6 or 7.
They're close to the end of the first arc then.
Yeah, they killed Dio, or the first time or whatever you call it. I'm sure he's not dead. But I was just like, whatever.
Well, apparently the second arc, like, it gets progressively better with each new arc, is what I hear. Is that, like, the second arc is way better than the first, and then the third arc is, like, this is why people start getting into the show.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing, too. Like, I watched the first one, and I'm like, this is okay, but it's just, like, just regular fighting, people powering up and stuff. But then I started reading about all the lore and, like, how their superpowers work and, like, which rock band is who and everything, and I'm like, all right, this sounds really interesting. If I could somehow like read this quickly or experience this quickly without everybody powering up for an hour, that'd be nice.
Watch the abridged series.
I mean,
Make the abridged series.
they definitely flesh stuff out more in subsequent arcs, and apparently it becomes less about powering up and more about like figuring out how to combat a certain ability.
Yeah, I feel like I really want to pick it up because I spent a while just reading about like the wildest and most ridiculous ones, how they all have powers to like just basically unlimited powers. Like it sounds like a little kid just making up like, all right, my superpower is to stop time for everyone except for me, and then I can travel to other parallel dimensions and swap places with myself in unlimited parallel dimensions, so I am invincible, you know. Just stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I want to see how it plays out, you know?
I mean, I guess that's worth it. That's about it, honestly. No other shows. Do you have anything different?
Yeah, I have a few more.
Okay.
The first one I tried watching is, oh, god damn it. I don't think I have the English names for these. Bokura wa Mina Kawaiso. The Kawaiso house or whatever, basically the dorm room.
It sounds amazing.
It's about this boy who's living alone thanks to his parents' job transfer. And he moves into an apartment complex populated by girls. And it's really, really bad. I made it through one episode and I decided that it's enough for the rest of my life.
I'm for it.
Is this a Patrick show?
Oh.
Not particularly that bad. I mean, it was just really bland, bad.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
it wasn't ridiculous like little girls, little sisters or anything. It was just this guy has a crush on one girl, but his roommate is too wacky and he just can't catch a break.
Well, you can have Patrick shows without incest.
Let's go back. No, you can't.
I mean, I know that's like a key ingredient, but, you know.
No, this Kawaiso show is no good on any scale.
All right, then.
It's a half out of 100.
I would delete that.
Yeah, delete it.
I tried watching Kindaiichi Returns. He's
Okay.
the high school detective. It's not as good as Detective Conan.
Oh.
The first case was 4 episodes long, and it was just full of inconsistencies, and because of that, like, you could not solve the case yourself. Like, somehow the animators or whoever's making this anime didn't look ahead in the script because they messed it up.
Oh, did they now?
Yeah. And they're in Hong Kong for the first 4 episodes, and like the threat is like this tiny like suitcase bomb that can like blow up the whole country that's been set for like 20 years, and I don't know. You could keep going with it, I guess, if you finish all of Detective Conan, but it's really just like the same exact idea, but not as good.
That's disappointing.
So after the first 4 episodes, the first case, I'm just gonna set it down.
Okay, you actually reminded me with that of another show that I completely forgot about, probably because it was a mental defense to keep from remembering this that I ever watched this show. It's called Mouse. It's like Lupin the Third, but way worse.
Oh yeah, I saw that because Crunchyroll was dropping it.
Yeah, not worth seeing. I don't know why I watched it. I saw it solely because it was being taken off Crunchyroll. And like,
How much of it did you watch?
I watched all of it, and I feel dirty for it.
It's a good use of your time.
No,
Could
it
have watched
wasn't.
Monster.
I mean, I probably could have, but I mean, I did that. I'm a stupid person. I watched Mouse. It's basically about this guy. He's like the newest generation in a long line of thieves that are called Mouse. And he has 3 super sexy assistants who help him, and it's a weird harem thing, and they're always trying to have sex with him, and he's always being super reluctant, like, hey, calm down, girls. So, you know, like a normal guy would in that situation.
Why would Crunchyroll want to drop that?
Probably, I don't know. I mean, it's simply a masterpiece that borders on hentai on some episodes. It's that ridiculous. And like he has his own Zenigata because he's like he always tries to steal priceless artifacts and monuments and stuff because like they hold a sort of beauty or whatever, and everybody like the public loves him, but the police hate him. And apparently somewhere there's also virtual reality craziness and evil other people who are trying to kill Mouse, and it's dumb. It sucks. It's one of the worst. It's not worth your time at all.
The track record for this season, not so good so far.
Well, that wasn't this season. That's an old show.
That was an old show, but it still sucked. It also had some of the worst Japanese voice acting I've ever heard, which is kind of rare, but it sucked. It was really bad. I hated everyone's voice.
That was as bad as Cypher. That was technically Japanese voice acting.
Okay, second worst Japanese voice acting I've ever heard. Be glad that I suffered through it so that you didn't have to. I guess.
I'm pretty glad.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, more shows that you watched. Hopefully something decent.
Well, I haven't dropped yet Brynhilder Into the Darkness.
Okay.
It's like high school fantasy, sci-fi. There's these like genetically modified or biologically engineered girls who are like witches and they have superpowers, and they break out and are on the run from the government who did that to them. The main character is this guy who his little friend when he was a little kid supposedly died, but she is one of these witches now, and he's trying to like hide them. And sometimes it's pretty actiony, like it's pretty gory at times. But sometimes like the latest episode was kind of dumb. Like they just went to the hot springs and had a bunch more transfer students. Like at first it was just one girl, and within like an episode or two they introduced like 5 more. So I'm kind of getting a different view of what the show's trying to be now. I thought it was going to be...
Yeah, you said it was going to be like, it seemed a lot like Elfen Lied.
Like a horror mystery, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now there's like 5 of the girls, and they're all in his after-school club, and I'm sure like something dramatic will happen, but in between they're just going on field trips and eating snacks.
Oh, apparently it was written by the same person as Elfen Lied.
Yeah.
So...
The first episode was really good, and the second episode was kind of, you know, it just establishes itself more and more. Like, it had a really strong start, but it seems to be more presenting itself or revealing itself for what it really is, which is not as good. But I haven't dropped it yet, you know. I watched 4 episodes of it, and even though the latest episode was kind of really dumb, I don't know.
Well, hopefully it picks back up again.
I don't know the English name of it, but flag girlfriend something. Kanojo ga flago or taro.
I'm pretty sure I can find the actual name here in a second.
Please do. But then don't click on it or watch it.
Oh, is it bad?
The concept is super dumb. The guy, of course, there's a main character surrounded by 1,100,000,000 girls, and he can see little flags above people's heads, whether they're about to die or fall in love with him or something. And the first episode, I swear, felt like an hour long.
That's not good.
I don't know. It's just a real typical, like, bottom feeder light novel adaptation.
If her flag breaks.
All right.
I mean, that's how it is with light novels, I guess. They're always that.
I thought, like, there's, like, a 99% chance of it being not good, but I remembered No Kome, and I'm like, well, maybe. Like, maybe it'll be funny.
Yeah, but I mean, it kind of sounds like No Kome, sorta.
It does a lot,
but
it's no good. And then the manga artist and his assistants.
Oh, you've been watching that one? Or
yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
That
looks really good.
That looks like it might not suck. You tell us.
It's not super funny. Usually, like, the skits are split up into, like, 3 per episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here.
Usually one of them is really funny, but the other 2 are just about how much this guy likes panty shots.
Ah.
They're the bread and butter of any good show. Come on.
They are. He's a mangaka, and somehow he gets all these girl assistants, and he's just a wild and crazy guy. And he's like, I need to see your panties for an example. And they're like, no.
No.
Oh boy, I guess.
And most episodes are variations of that.
Okay.
There's a lot better things to watch.
Like? I know there's one show.
Maho Shoujo Taisen.
Oh.
Is not a better show to watch. It's only like a minute
Way to
long.
set it up.
Maho Shoujo Taisen is like every town in Japan has a magical girl mascot, and it's only like 2 minutes long, so it's really hard to get like a story going. And I gave it 3 episodes, and not a lot happened, so I dropped it.
Fantastic.
Doesn't sound like this is a very awesome season.
No, this sounds like a season that sucks.
It's pretty bad overall, like by the numbers.
Uh-huh.
Like Black Bullet.
It's too bad.
I couldn't even finish 1 episode of Black Bullet. I had to turn it off halfway. It was freaking terrible.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Literally. Both ways. Too bad and too bad.
But No Game, No Life. You guys have to check this out. Especially Laven.
Okay.
It's a game base. So it's like Kaiji or something. Or what's another anime where they just play games all the time? But the stakes
Yu-Gi-Oh?
are high. Yeah, like
It's like
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
I was going to say Yu-Gi-Oh kind of too, but it's better than that.
Hey, I'll be the judge of that.
But it's
Is it
about
like Akagi or something? Like
yeah,
is it the same kind of thing?
just games like that. I haven't seen a lot, but I'm watching this and I'm like, this is good.
All right. Who's it made by?
A Madhouse.
Oh, Madhouse made it.
Yeah,
It's about games.
yeah.
Is it a death game?
They're in a world where everything is decided by games. Like there's like 10 commandments, saying like you have to bet something, you have to honor you can't cheat. Or no, you can't get caught cheating like you can cheat. Just little no gotcha laws, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's like 10 game commandments basically, just so it's not completely anarchy. And these 2 like neats who on Earth, all they do is just play video games nonstop and they win at every single game ever. They get transported to it and they're really excited. They're like, this is awesome. Like, we're just going to take over. And they basically do. Like, every episode so far, they play a game. Like, the first game was like some kind of card game where he just flat out cheated and he didn't get caught. The second episode was like super like rock, paper, scissors, but there's like a bunch of rules and like game theory behind it and everything.
That sounds awesome.
And then the other episode was like chess, but like I can't remember the crazy rule for it, but it ended up being pretty intense.
That sounds pretty great. I think I would watch this.
Yeah.
As you know,
Yeah.
I love games.
And the main character is like not a wuss. Like most of the time, I just hate the main characters, and I'm like, whatever, like they suck, but this guy's cool.
All right. I'll watch that.
Yeah. Sounds at least worth a shot.
It's on Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah,
All right, then.
no game,
done
no
deal.
life.
No game, no life.
Speaking of other games that people play, have a fun time.
Yes.
It's good times.
I know. Come on, Jack.
What?
What other? There's got to be
He's
more
got a
than
game?
one show that's been good this season. Like one in particular.
Oh, the best show, Ping Pong, the animation.
Yes.
There you go.
That. Oh wow.
Cool sports.
I only watched episode 1, and I don't know how much more Willis watched.
Not very much after that. No, just one
All
episode.
right, well, as of episode 1, top tier. It's perfect. It's great. I liked it a lot.
I'm definitely kind of into the show, but the animation is quite terrible.
What?
I am not.
You don't like that style?
I'm not digging that style. It's just.
I think it's cool.
I like it.
It's really unique and not how everything ever in the world is drawn right now.
Yeah, I know, but
I
just
heard
because,
a lot of people not liking it too. They're like, "Oh, too bad the animation's terrible," or "Why are they doing this?" And I thought they were joking. I didn't know people like you really existed.
Well, I mean,
There's a hater for everything.
well,
Yes.
just because something looks unique doesn't mean it looks good.
It looks fine. It doesn't look bad, and I appreciate the style choice to not look like everything else.
No, I don't mind that it's looking that like it looks different. I just don't like the way. I just don't like they're different.
Oh, I don't really like have a preference. I'm like, oh, it's different, but it's whatever, cool.
I mean, but other than that,
It's fine.
I'm actually really digging like the story they're setting up and the characters. And I was kind of thrown off when there were large chunks of that first episode that were in Chinese. That was
Yeah, I like that a lot too. That they just straight up just use Chinese. Like, fine, that's great. I figured they would maybe switch it over and then just start only speaking Japanese after a while, but like it's implied that maybe he's speaking Chinese, but no. They just have a language barrier for the entire thing. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess that guy just doesn't know Japanese, and he's just like
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. He
all
does
about
not
ping
at all.
pong.
He's just like
Ping pong is the universal language, Willis. I don't know if you understood this.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but
You gotta have custom-made paddles. You have to win your way to the championships.
Every episode so far is just like they have a rad ping pong match, and the Chinese guy is in the newest one again, and they're always.
How does this stack up against old ping pong club, in your humble opinion?
I honestly thought at first this was going to be like a ping pong club like reboot or something, but like no, it's a completely different thing.
Ping pong is just a sport you can exploit for humor all the time,
I guess so.
Well, it's not even.
no matter what.
I mean, it's kind of funny, but the main point isn't comedy. It's about the two guys and them playing ping pong. Like one of them, they're both really good at ping pong, but one of them's just like, ping pong's just a way to pass the time, and the other one's just like, I want to be a pro.
Yeah, but it's pretty ridiculous that it's ping pong.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's just their high
It's-
school
it's-
club.
I think that's where the humor comes from, that it's like, ping pong, what the heck?
Well, I feel like it's treated a lot more seriously than Ping Pong Club.
It is treated seriously, but I thought that was where some of the humor comes from. That it's
for
like, this is
for
just ping
s-
pong, what are you doing?
For some of it, yeah.
because we don't have like ping pong club, but I guess in East Asia it's a big thing. Like even that guy got kicked out of his country for like losing a match or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, ping pong is like Asia's curling.
Well, what? That's not true because curling here isn't that crazy.
Yeah,
So
but it-
Asia's curling would be some other sport that isn't that crazy.
Yeah, but in Canada they love it. I mean, Canada curling can't get enough.
What? This analogy, you should have said something like, it's like
Okay, hockey.
it's like Asia's. No,
Well-
that doesn't work either. It's like Asia's. I don't know, like
Yu-Gi-Oh
Asia's
card
NASCAR.
game.
Like everyone knows about it, and some people are really into it.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh
But
the
other
card
people
game
are like,
or Magic
hey,
the
or
Or
Gathering.
basketball, maybe. Do they have basketball courts
I
in
wouldn't say-
Japan?
Yeah.
Yo, basketball's pretty huge in Japan.
Because they have like
so
ping
it's not-
pong halls in Japan. Like,
Well, they have like Go halls too. Like I don't see any chess halls here.
what's something?
But
where
we
they
do
just
have
like
like
halls and clubs
grandmasters
here?
that play against each other in big tournaments.
Yeah, but I don't think there's like a chess parlor like located all over the city.
What is there a parlor for here?
Nothing. Magic the Gathering,
Yeah,
Pokemon.
go to my mom's basement down the street and just have yourself a grand old time. Play some
I don't know.
Dungeons
If
and
any of our
Dragons.
viewers and/or listeners can tell us what kind of parlors they have for different sports, and by sports I mean tabletop games that are not nerd based, maybe let us know.
Yeah, send us stuff from it.
Send us a postcard with that sport on the cover.
Yeah, do that. Go for it. Keep in mind we have 3 different addresses, so that's a kind of a complicated thing. But just
choose
do it.
one. Just write Anibros on the front and send it in like that. They'll know what to do. The post office knows us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine the post office knows exactly who the Anibros are.
I imagine that every day.
They will.
Except for I don't even imagine it. I just know it's fact, so I just let it go.
We're on the government's top list. Like, oh, Anibros.
That's probably true.
Anibros, this gets top priority. Get the Amazon drones in there, stat.
All right. Well, is that all you watched? Because we got to get on to the main event.
Yes, we do.
I watched more things.
I mean,
I'll go
The
fast.
segment's taking an hour.
okay.
I watched
really fast.
Chaika, some albino girl with big eyebrows and with a gun.
All right. Sounds terrible.
Yeah, I
But
only
keep
watch
going.
episodes pretty bad. Is the Order a Rabbit? It's girls working at a cafe. It's really funny and really good. Probably the second best show of the season.
Okay.
Nana's Buried Treasure. A ghost eats pudding all day, and a detective and her assistant, who's a trap, are
You know what's a better show than that?
what?
Literally everything.
Regular Nana. Literally everything. But what reminded me of a better show is Nana proper, the real version. Doesn't have any ghosts. Pretty sure it has no pudding, but I could be wrong. I forgot the third thing you said, but it probably doesn't include that either.
Are there lesbians?
In Nana,
Not well. Okay, then I don't know. I just threw that out there.
he wanted to know selfishly if he would be able to watch this as well.
No, because I mean, like I heard of it, and like I always hear people like saying like, "Is it or is it not?" And like I don't know.
Watch it for
It's
yourself.
not.
I will. Yeah, I mean, I hear it's good regardless. It's,
Wait, what?
Nana.
What are we talking about?
Nana.
Nana?
Yes.
Okay. I
no,
successfully
no,
switched
no,
the conversation.
no,
I thought you guys were talking about your na pudding ghost story or whatever you
Oh
said.
well, in that case, putting lesbians count me in.
Lesbian pudding. It's a jolly good time. I want chocolate.
Bubblegum and taffy.
Oh wow, that's dirty, Laven. Okay.
Well, it could be
Yogurt.
taken several different ways. Yeah, you say yogurt?
Oh god. Okay. Okay. All right.
The Shaft show of the season. Meikaku City actors.
The supposedly like most anticipated show of the season.
Yeah. First episode was pretty bad, but the second and third kind of explained it more. But I don't know. It's not that great. There's better shows.
There's better shows indeed.
M3, which is an anime original, but it's like rushing through the story like it isn't. Like there's some kind of like shadow realm where monsters come from, and these high schoolers have to pilot mechs and kill them. I don't know. Only one episode's come out, I think, and I didn't really like it. But are you guys watching Insufficient Direction?
Has that come out? I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll get immediately on that.
You would totally like it. Every episode is just about Ano liking Super Sentai.
Oh yes. Okay.
That's
then
every episode.
absolutely yes.
Every single one.
Yeah, his
Without
wife
fail.
is just like, I married an otaku. Every morning he wakes up singing the theme song to like some Sentai show. And then he's like singing it. And she's like, your freaking Kamen Rider toys are clogging up the living room. Let's buy a shelf. And then he's like, I measure shelves by how many like Gundams it fits or something.
This sounds awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
exactly
sounds not-
how I expected Ano to be but when
This
he's
doesn't sound like a surprising thing. This just sounds like, yeah, that's how it goes in life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know
great.
what you guys are thinking it's crazy about. Like, sometimes you got to put your Gundam model somewhere.
Yeah, sometimes you need to use that as your unit of measurement instead of these inferior inches and centimeters.
Well, I mean, they're technically still centimeters. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you measure them in Gundams, not in centimeters.
Heads. And a head is a Gundam head.
Measure them in mobile suits.
How many MSs? How many rails?
How many Zakus?
How many mobile armors can I fit on the shelf, sir? What? Son? This is IKEA.
Basically, yeah.
I notice you have that you labeled this as a Zaku, but this is no Zaku, boy. No Zaku.
Where are you at where this occurred? Who labeled this? What are you saying? What store were you at? I want answers.
Bed Bath & Beyond.
Who labeled something a Zaku? This sounds like a made-up story.
I don't know. I was in Side 7 at the time.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I was on
either.
Side 7, and
No, you weren't.
yeah, I saw a couple of people just chanting Sig Zion, and was like, all right, this seems like a bad neighborhood.
And then your colony was destroyed, and now you're right here. That's where you're wrong. If you're gonna pick a lie, I would use a lie of a colony that didn't get destroyed in the first episode.
Well, I mean, I got better.
What?
I hitched a ride on a GM.
This is derailed. We need to move on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Are we good? Did Jack watch 17 more things, or are we at the end?
Is this the... Yeah.
Well, I watched a non-airing thing.
Okay.
Quickly.
Tasagure Bukatsumono Encore.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
fantastic.
Japanese words. Okay.
How good or bad is it?
Laven, you watched Gouda Gouda Fairies, right?
I did.
It's like that where it's just the voice actors sitting around improvising.
Okay, I like it already.
Yeah, it's
Sounds like a
super
good time.
hilarious. I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
All
The
right.
story of it is that these 4 girls are in a club and they're trying to figure out what to do for the club. And every episode, they think of a club like the baseball club, the band club, the kendo club, and they're like, how can we make a new baseball club? And they just go around in circles like, who has an idea? And they're just like, what if the rugby club, they ran up and just hugged each other and now it's Hugby.
That's pretty funny. Okay.
Okay.
And they
right.
start laughing and like breaking character. It's just all improvising. Willis, you'd
Yeah.
like it because it's like, just like straight up just voice actors.
Yay. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's funny. He would like Gouda Gouda Fairies too.
Yeah.
Is that the same
hilarious.
kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, it's these dumb CG fairies that just have like one model drawn. It's like watching. Oh, what are those things that are online that you see where there's like a bear and a thing talking to each other where people draw?
Tasagure's made in the same program. It's CG too.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's CG. It's
just
by the
stupid
same
where
guy.
you basically just have these dumb models just standing there and then they improv some voice lines over it and then they just kind of stick them in there.
Trying to make each other laugh. Like one of them always makes puns. Like that's all she does.
All those CG anime things look the same to me.
Yeah, somebody was subbing the first
Racist.
season really bad, but somebody just went through and like just subbed the whole second season, which it doesn't matter which one you watch. It's just them thinking of clubs. But the whole
Okay.
second season is subbed.
All right. So,
Indeed.
what is that? You're gonna have to link me to those later. To
All right.
Sagure and Guru Guru Fairies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gouda Gouda Fairies is just GD Fairies.
All right. Is
Fantastic.
it time for the Bonsai anime review?
Are we gonna answer a viewer mail or not?
Are we? Are we gonna waste? Are we gonna?
That Freudian slip was accurate. Are we going to waste this time with that nonsense?
Well,
Or
I
are we
mean,
going to get down to business, talk about some pat labor?
Let's get down to business, Laven. You lead us in the way.
I hope you are strapped in for a super long episode because that's what's happening.
You're listening to the Animation Brothers here on NPR. Keep it tuned in for Who's That in the next hour, where our own Willis Jangles speaks about voice actors and podcast extraordinary people. That's Who's That in the next hour. Right now, you're listening to Anibros.
Okay, so Pat Labor, you have the most history with this, Laven. Why don't you start us off?
So pat labor, back in like middle school or high school or something, I was just looking up stuff about, I just watched Gundam. So I was like, I need to listen or watch a show like this that isn't this. That is, this in this situation is Gundam. So I wanted to find some sort of cool show along the same vein as real robots that wasn't Gundam, and I found Patlabor because I had already watched Evangelion and was like, this is pretty cool. I like this kind of weirdness. That isn't to say Patlabor is anything like Evangelion, but
No.
I wanted to explore more stuff that was mechs more so than anything else. So Patlabor was cool because it had the whole dark kind of Ghost in the Shell feel to it. Or so I thought, just based on watching trailers and like reading stuff about it. And then I wanted to watch the movies because that's what people were raving about. But I knew that I needed to watch the series first. But that was dispelled when I found out that I just needed to watch the OVA, which is, I think, 6. Is it 6 episodes?
7.
7 episodes. So I watched 7 episodes, and that is all you need to watch the first movie because it's a direct, I guess, sequel to that. But it's kind of confusing because they made a like 50 or 40 or some crazy, maybe 26, I don't know, some actual TV series that takes place in its own timeline, but is essentially the same thing as the OVA. So the OVA just kind of goes along these police, the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Force. They're in this near future setting where they have these things called labors, which are these powered mech suits. They're not like totally the coolest Gundam-esque mobile suits like the future, but they are more aesthetically pleasing and cool than like Scope Dogs or something, like some really lame. Okay, I don't mean Scope Dogs are lame, but they look cooler. They're somewhere in between. They're like these cool little powered suits that they can use.
They pretty much made labors as like mostly as aids for construction work, right?
Yeah, all vehicles, like in our modern times where like a backhoe or something would be a vehicle that you use to do something, you'd use a labor for that instead, which is a big mechanical suit that you would use to power. Or when I say suit, it's this just giant lumbering mech that can help you do tasks, and they don't always look humanoid. They just are these big robots that you can use for different things. And it just happens that the military mechs or the military laborers and the police laborers look like awesome main character type
robots.
Yeah, where everything else does not. So you get to be treated to them just kicking ass, and it's awesome. So anyway, the show, it follows the Metropolitan Tokyo Police Force guys and one girl and 2 girls, actually. 3 girls. There are 3 girls in the show.
Yeah. Specifically, it follows the Special Vehicles Unit 2, which
they're the B League. B team.
Yeah. They've just had a bunch of new recruits join. Like in the OVAs, a bunch of new recruits join, and they're led by
a fearless leader.
Yeah, fearless leader who looks like he doesn't care most of the time.
Yep. There's the girl, and I don't mean the new girl. I mean the police girl. Now, I can't really remember any of their names, so I'm just going to put that out there right now.
Great job.
I don't have them in front of me, and I don't...
Such a fan. Well, I have the names in front of me.
All right, so I'm gonna list them off based on my poor description, and you're going to tell the names. So, we have Fearless Leader.
Goto.
Okay, Goto, yes, that sounds right. And we have the lady.
Shinobu Nagumo.
Yep, they are the top people in this outfit here. I can't remember who's all there, because they show up like right away in episode 1, so I don't remember who's exactly there when they first get there and who's a new recruit, but I'm pretty sure most of those guys are new recruits.
Yeah, pretty much like, I think, all of them.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody besides Goto and the girl.
Shinobu.
The girl.
Okay.
Okay, so they're there. This bus or truck or something of new people come, and I like the fact that the old mechanic, he's just standing outside, just waiting all day in the first episode, and it's revealed that he's waiting for his new units to arrive or something.
Is that the big guy or like the guy with the glasses?
The guy with the glasses.
Okay, that is Shinji.
Yeah, he's the best. He's my favorite. He just loves machines and labor so much.
He also has a wife, doesn't he?
It doesn't matter. I don't remember, and she's never she doesn't exist in this show, so it doesn't matter.
Well, she shows up in the movies.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
but we'll get to that.
For the OVA. She's not talked about. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so these truck or bus full of recruits come, and they're so excited to be in the special unit. But it's sort of revealed that this unit's very poor, and they're like the B team, and they don't really even have any functioning laborers, so they don't really have anything to do, because their unit's purpose is to be like the labor police, where, you know, there's normal police, like what you'd have right now, but then they have like these mech police that their unit has no mechs. So
yeah, pretty much.
Kind of like, well, all right, we have these crappy they're either training mechs or like construction mechs they have just painted up to be police mechs. They're just kind of useless, and they don't really help anybody.
Yeah, it's something along those lines. They're
a ragtag group of individuals. I tell you what.
There's the crazy mech otaku girl.
Yeah, I'm getting to her. That's girl number 2.
Okay.
Girl number 2. Now I know her name, but Willis, do the honors of saying her name.
Izumi Noah.
Noah.
Yes, Noah.
Is the best girl, obviously. She's just this weird, like, I don't even know how to like characterize like in any sort of stereotypical way. She's just this weird girl who's kind of airheaded but pretty normal. She just likes laborers.
Yeah, she's super into them.
Where she just really likes laborers, but that's as far as it goes. She doesn't really know anything about them besides the fact that she likes them, but she's good at piloting them and like went to school to be a pilot for one.
She named her first one.
Yeah, she did name her first one. That is the best one.
She named it Alphonse.
She did name it Alphonse. She just immediately thought it looked like Alphonse and was like, that's mine from now on.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of like, all right, that's great. But that's after they get the shipment of new laborers.
Yeah, when they finally get something to work with.
Yeah, at first they don't have that. And I like the fact that what I was saying before is the glasses guy, he's just standing outside because he heard that the mechs are supposed to be delivered that day. And he's like, all right, I'm waiting for him. And it actually becomes the plot point of like either the first 1 or 2 episode arc where there's like a problem with the shipment of them and they have to go like kick ass with their crappy mechs and like stop this heist happening on the highway where there's like a traffic jam or something.
Isn't he also talking to one of the older mechanics too? Hold on.
What do you mean? What are you asking?
I might have mixed up who you think the mechanics guy is. Is he an old guy?
No, the guy with like the aviator sunglasses. You never see his eyes.
Oh, yeah, him, the old guy.
Yeah, the old guy. He's just standing outside.
Okay, I got the wrong character name for that guy then.
Yeah, what is his name?
I think he's Shige.
Yeah, he's the best.
Or Sakaki, or
I'm telling
one of
you,
those two.
I don't remember, but he's the best.
Yeah.
Only because he's this old man who, like, I guess, I don't know how you'd think. He's like a guy in modern times right now who would just love tractors too much. He doesn't really care about farming or farms or anything else, but he loves tractors, and all he wants to do is make these tractors work. And like when a new tractor comes out, he's excited about it. But he's really calm and he's an old man, so he doesn't really have any like craziness to him. He just is like, we gotta make sure these tractors work for the people.
Yeah, you got the police tractors.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you had police tractors. Basically, laborers are police tractors, and their sole purpose is to perform for the police. And this guy, he makes sure that they're working in tip-top shape. They can plow the fields all day, and they're not gonna like rust or throw a sickle bar or anything like that. They're gonna be okay.
Gotta weed out the criminals.
So this group of individuals, they live in basically like an ancient Japanese barracks where it's like, I know it's not actually like this, but it feels like some sort of old holdout from World War II where they just like live
pretty
in
much
this like like this stupid outpost.
Yeah, it's very much like it feels less like they're the B unit and more like they're the D unit. Like the A unit is like, I mean, you don't really hear much about them, but like you know that they're competent. And
oh yeah, they all like pass their stuff. They're just fresh recruits that just got thrown into like, well, you don't get to automatically be the elite, so here you go.
No, you're very much just like, here's a job.
Most of them don't even get to pilot anything. They like drive the car next to the mechs and like make sure the traffic doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, well, there's support, you know?
Yeah, there's like one or two. There are two laborers.
Yes. The other one is piloted by Noah, and the other is
Obviously.
piloted by Trigger Happy McGee.
He's my favorite. He shoots at everything, doesn't ask any questions, always racks up the biggest bill. So,
Yeah.
the police, basically the city really hates this unit actually because they're constantly breaking everything. And it's not like when you think of Gundam, there's like a big, like massive epic battle happening, or like the battle happens, even if it's not massive and epic, but it happens, and then they just sort of go on to the next thing. There's a giant lead up to the battle. The battle is very realistic, where it's like a couple shots get fired and some stuff falls down because it's too big. It's like really like lumbering, cumbersome mechs, and they aren't very agile or anything like that. They like crush a car and fall into a building, and then that's the end of the fight. and then they just get mad that they have to bill all this infrastructure loss to the police force.
And then when they have to reload their giant revolvers, they actually have big revolver shells that they have to reload manually.
Yeah. Everything is like too big and clunky for it to really be effective. And like it's shown to be that way too, in the people in the actual work know that. They're like, these laborers, like, they're cool, but they're really hard.
Yeah, it's very much just like a weird slice of life almost kind of show, where it
really is.
It's very much just like, yeah, laborers are cool, but they're also kind of cumbersome.
It's like slice of life in this era where it's like, what if there were these helper robots? And what if there was no Moe? That's what the show is.
I feel like the OVA definitely like hopped around a lot in terms of like tone, because
it did a lot.
Like it starts off fairly lighthearted, just sort of like
extremely lighthearted. It feels like a silly, dumb show in the very beginning. There's
an episode where like they like, and it even, I don't know if they even like set up like what was possible in the world they created, because like later there's an episode where they literally have to deal with a giant monster from the sea, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And they never really talk about it again afterwards. It just shows up and then walks away because it looks like this other guy, the big, gentle, soft dude who joined the team, who doesn't say much. And then the very next episode, they talk about how there's no such thing as ghosts because like they got put into this thing where they need to be disciplined.
I do like that episode.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a test of courage episode.
Yeah, but like they say that like there's no such thing as ghosts, but last episode they just talked to a giant monster. So I don't know what they think is possible or not in this world.
Can't really read too heavily into this.
I guess not.
The whole show doesn't really open up until the movies. I mean, I guess the final arc of the OVA is pretty serious. It gets the last, what is it, 2 or 3 episodes of the OVA?
Yeah, the last 3 episodes of the OVA.
They're basically the same tone and quality of any of the movies.
Yeah, well, not quite, but like it's definitely like taking itself more seriously. There's a lot less comedy going on.
If you just watched only the last 3 episodes of the OVA and then started watching the movies, you would just think that whole show is one kind of thing, and you would never expect what actually occurs in the first few episodes.
Yeah, but I definitely feel like people watch the OVAs just so they can get to the movies. Like that's basically what I did.
That's honestly what I did, yeah, for sure. I was going to watch the TV series because I just assumed that was what it was coming from, but once I learned that, no, you only have to watch this 7-episode thing, it's like, I was like, oh, great. That's fine, easy. I've never even watched the episodes, like, or the TV series. I might someday, but I feel like it's just going to be it's basically just a 50 episode or whatever stretch out of the first bit of the OVA. Just a slice of life.
I mean, I watched like 1 episode of it and it looked very much like it was okay, but not really all that special.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fine.
I think I would only watch it if only because that way there's more screen time for my favorite girl, New York Police Department transfer, Konica Clancy.
She is your favorite. I don't dislike her, but she's not my favorite. The other 2 girls are better, I think.
I don't know. She's got this like can-do attitude, I guess.
She definitely
And
has a can-do attitude.
it just feels like she knows what's going on, or at the very least, she knows what to do far more often than like the recruits.
It's because she's American.
Pretty much.
She doesn't stand around and like gawk about her own feelings or what's going on. She just is like, we have to get a job done, and this job includes guns and mechs.
Yeah.
My favorite.
She also like keeps a really optimistic attitude towards stuff, because like,
Would you say she's a Mari-like character?
well, no, she's not as insane as Mari.
No, but she is that kind of a person where she's just like, let's get it done. We have to get it done, and I'm pretty good at getting it done.
Yeah, but she can also be like a little playful. Like there was the episode where there was like they were trying to disarm the bomb, and the one guy was like panicking over which wire to cut, and then she just slips on in next to him and cuts the right wire. She's like, "You did it."
Yeah, she's pretty funny.
So, but apparently she gets replaced later in the show anyway, so it's not
Yeah,
cool.
It doesn't matter.
No, what matters are the movies.
The movies are what
Which-
matter. Those
Yeah.
are glorious works that are unprecedented.
They take a very serious turn into just being like they play out basically like psychological thrillers, basically, almost.
Well, yeah, it's Mamorushi.
Yeah, like if you like the kind of stuff that Ghost in the Shell is, for the most part, it's very much like that, only a little
It's
less
the aesthetic.
philosophical.
It's like the aesthetic of the first Ghost in the Shell with just a different like tone and direction in how it feels.
Yeah, but it's still like this one is like very hard realism, where
Yeah.
like as opposed to like giant monsters showing up every once in a like just once time, I guess, whatever, and then like goofy ghost stuff. It's very much like the first movie's about there's this new operating system that for laborers that is actually making them go crazy on their own, and it's all related to this weird thing that was all enacted by this rogue programmer, and so they got to like figure out what's going on with it and stop it. And
Yeah, it's really mystery kind of a thing. They have to like figure out what's going on.
it's just like that kind of stuff going on.
It's a
all the
mech
time.
mystery thriller
Yeah, it's
with like some Well, there's not a lot of conspiracy in this one compared to number 2, but
yeah. Number 2 is when like conspiracy goes way up.
yeah.
You even I think you even said that like episodes 5 and 6 of the OVA were basically remade into the second movie,
Yeah.
except made way bigger and way darker.
It's way better, I think.
Yeah, and way better, obviously. Well, yeah.
No, movie number 2 is like Patlabor 2 is flawless. Well, it's not flawless, but it is great. I love it so much.
It's pretty good. I definitely like both of these movies. They're prime examples of classic, good, traditional animation. So definitely watch them if you want to see something like look good.
Yeah, basically.
But also like they're really good stories in and of themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people have like a preconception if it's a mech show, they're not going to want to like it or watch it because of whatever reason. But this, man, you could just take labors out of it and it would almost lose nothing.
Yeah, really.
You could just replace them with police cars and it would be fine. Like it would lose a little bit because the mechs are cool, but the story you would almost have to do no rewrites to the actual story.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like maybe this is just me being the mech fan, but like I actually would have preferred a little bit more labor stuff.
Oh yeah,
happening in the
definitely.
movies.
Of course, yes, that's unanimous. But what I'm saying is, like any person, it's really accessible. A lot of people can watch and like the show.
Yeah, they're just really solid, well-written stuff. So if you like mysteries and you want to see good real robots in a setting that's not strictly military, definitely check out the OVAs so you can watch the movies. There's a third movie, but it doesn't follow the same characters at all. It's not directed by the same people or done by any of the same people. It's just whatever, so you can ignore it, basically. And you can ignore the TV series, but
I remember watching the 3.
yeah.
It's like, and I don't remember it being bad.
Well, no. I mean, you can...
I remember it being really good, but
Oh.
it's you're right, it's not the same. It is still animated by Madhouse, and it's produced by Bandai, so it looks awesome.
I haven't seen, like, any of it, so...
I mean, it keeps that dark kind of tone, so it's really good. It's not the same kind of... it's really hard to explain. It's not... Since you're right, it's not directed by Mamoru anymore, but it's they kept a good direction with it, I thought.
Yeah.
It's clearly the weakest one of the 3 movies, but not so bad to where you should just ignore it. Like, it's really worth watching.
Okay, I take that back. If you can't get enough, watch the 3rd movie. Make your own opinion. But definitely, hearing it from us is that the first 2 movies are the best.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. The first movie, like, it still has some of that lighthearted stuff, but then, like, the second one's, like, super dark, almost depressing, really. And I don't really know how I felt about that specifically, but I guess, especially since, like, it didn't feature a lot of the new recruits or anything anymore. It was mostly just about Goto and Shinobu, like, doing the detective work.
That's what I liked about it, I thought.
I don't know. I would have preferred more focus on Noah and stuff.
She was in there. She was actually very mature in that one.
Yeah, I
Everyone
know.
was. There wasn't a lot of, like, happy-go-lucky times in number 2.
Yeah, I know. But, like, I feel like it could have still been more about her, because I always thought that she
The
was
whole
supposed
show's
to
about
be...
her.
Well,
No,
no,
it's not at all.
really. It's
They
not.
really, I got tricked. I remember I thought that it would just be like she was the main character and she went around doing things. No, that's not true. There's episodes where she gets, like, talked to no times.
Yeah, basically. And, like, I don't know. I thought she was going to be the viewpoint character, but then, like, she
They put her
started
on the
getting...
box, and that is about as far as it goes.
Uh-huh. And, like, the first movie, like, she's still there, but, like, she's not really, like, one of the big main players. And then in the second movie, you don't see her for a very long time. Okay, she shows up in, like, an early scene, and then for, like, an hour and 20 minutes, you don't, like, she doesn't show up.
She's really irrelevant to what's going on in that whole
Yeah.
entire storyline. Like, you got to set up that. I mean, from a movie telling standpoint, you have a lot to talk, like a lot of exposition to cover in that movie, so you know what's happening and what. I mean, it gets really dark and deep. Like, so you got to know. I mean, I don't fault them for just not showing you Noah going around being a girl when they need to, like, tell you about these government conspiracies that are going on that you need to know for the rest of the movie to unfold.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But that's that, yeah. Watch it. 10 out of 10.
It's definitely really good. It's really good stuff. Watch it. Watch the OVAs. There's 7 episodes. Then watch the movies. They're amazing.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
What about the series?
I'll watch it eventually, I guess. It didn't get, like, the best reviews, but, I mean, if you just want more, watch that, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not worse, it's just a different timeline.
Yeah.
Slightly.
It's definitely... It's removed from the OVAs and movies timeline. Kind of like how Ghost in the Shell, like, the movies are different from the standalone complex series. Like, they're both liked, I guess, for different things, but, like, they're definitely different, like completely different in terms of, like,
Just continuity is different, yeah. I know for myself, I don't like when series do that. I don't like when they do it's like, not really a spin-off, but like an alternate version of the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It makes me, I don't know, I don't like it. It makes me turned off to wanting to watch it. If I know beforehand that, okay, these are all the same exact characters in a very similar situation, voiced by the exact same people, but it's just slightly off. It's not the exact thing. Nothing fits with what you already know, and I don't like that feeling.
Well, Ghost in the Shell, like, that was directed and written by different people, and, like, the movies were more about, like, a philosophical, like, quandary, but Standalone Complex was about, like, political conspiracies and stuff. So
I know, but it was also Standalone Complex had a lot of its, like, kind of monster of the week kind of thing in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still the same thing. It's like, these are all these characters that you know and like already, just in a slightly bizarre situation to where you have to disregard everything you already know about it.
Yeah.
Which feels like a side story and then feels less legitimate to me. So I always dislike when they do that.
Yeah.
Watch it. Buy it today on Blu-ray, video, DVD, VHS.
Well, the OVAs are out on Blu-ray. I don't think the movies are yet.
I'm sure it's all out on VHS somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want old manga entertainment dubs, then
buy the Laserdisc.
Absolutely. All right. How did we sell you on it, Jack? What do you think?
Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. It sounds a lot like You're Under Arrest, how it has kind of like
It feels like that. It really does feel like that show. When I watched You're Under Arrest, I got a strong feeling of watching the first little bit of Patlabor, where I'm like, yes, this is exactly like how I felt when I watched Patlabor, minus the mechs. It's only 7 episodes. You should at least just watch the OVA.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, I mean, I would say also watch the first two, at least the first movie.
If you hate the first, no, I think it's a good sampler. Like if you like watching that OVA, continue watching the movies. But if you hate everything you see in the OVAs, you're gonna like nothing about the movies.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That's it, really.
Yeah, I mean that's Patlabor in a nutshell.
We said it.
Indeed.
Look, listen. There's always a bad seed out there, and if you're gonna weed out the bad seeds in society, you need a tractor to plow into justice. Americans know how to farm.
Absolutely.
The Japanese, not so much.
Well, I mean, they're trying.
They got farms.
They do their best, but they don't have a lot of modern conveniences.
Well, yeah, but they also...
Wouldn't they have more modern conveniences?
Don't they just have rice?
Well, no. They have police pogo stick. Police pogo stick. Stick.
You gotta bounce, you know? Bounce, you know?
Police pogo stick.
Bounce.
Gotta bounce.
Bounce.
Pogo.
Cheese it.
Police pogo stick.
You just jet away on your pogo stick.